Hi, I'm Bob Garrett. At Hackensack Meridian Health, we believe that all residents need to be informed about the important healthcare issues that affect their lives. That's why we're very proud to support the important programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation.
Funding for this edition of Caucus, New Jersey has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, NJM Insurance Group, ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services, Hackensack Meridian Health, the North Ward Center, Wells Fargo, and by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Family Magazine and njfamily.com. And by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. Welcome to a very important conversation we're going to have about the role of libraries, not just in Newark, New Jersey and New Jersey, but throughout the nation. We're pleased to be joined by Jeffrey Trzeciak, Director of the Newark Public Library. Good to see you, Jeffrey.
Nice seeing you. Thank you for having me.
Been here about a year and a half. Before that, you were out in St. Louis?
St. Louis, at Washington University in St. Louis.
How did we get you?
The position looked really attractive. I've lived and worked in urban settings most of my life, Detroit, St. Louis, Dayton, Ohio, just outside Toronto for a bit. And Newark was a very attractive option for a number of reasons. The library is fantastic, great collections, great staff, so it was an easy sell.
I would not, I know I speak for a lot of kids who grew up in Newark, New Jersey and surrounding areas. I would not have gotten through high school or college if it were not for the New Jersey Reference Room. You heard the name Charles Cummings.
Oh, of course.
An institution.
Yes.
Charles Cummings helped so many of us navigate, if you will, through term papers and research in that New Jersey Reference Room. But that's only a piece of the library. What is it today?
Well, we provide a wide range of services to every individual within the county within the city and beyond. We really are a cradle-to-grave service. New Jersey Room, as you mentioned, is an important part, along with some of our other cultural heritage centers like La Sala Hispano-Americana, and soon to be home to the Philip Roth Personal Library as well. So we provide some traditional reference service, special collection services, but we also provide services ranging from English as a second language, American Sign Language. We teach Spanish courses. We help people find work. We help people find homes. We help people find social services that they need in terms of unemployment and homelessness.
A library?
Yes.
Sounds like a social service agency.
I would say that we're becoming more a social service agency than a traditional library in many ways, but even though we provide these services, traditional services are on the rise again, especially at Newark Public Library. Circulation of traditional print books is up. Traditional reference services are up as well, and patron visits are up. We had about 450,000 visitors last year.
You did?
Yes.
What about the arts and culture piece of this?
We are a cultural hub, and we provide a lot of programming around the arts and culture, and some of it is quite unique in some ways. We now, every summer, during the summer, on Friday nights from 6 to 11, we offer a free Friday night dance party. It started out as small, but as of last week, we're getting about 1,000 participants every Friday night.
Looking at some pictures there. What do you say, Trzeciak? Cuban Night?
We also had Cuban Night. That was a partnership with Jimenez Lounge and Cigar Bar. We had a trio, Velvet Trio, singing. We had rum tasting. We had cigar
At the
rolling.
Newark Public Library?
At the Newark Public Library.
Not the library I grew up in.
Not at all.
Wow.
Not at all. It's a little different.
It's evolving in so many ways.
It is evolving.
By the way, where does the funding come for all this?
Most of our funding is from the city of Newark, but we do get some state funding. We also get some funding from the state library. A lot of funding from corporations. Prudential has been exceptionally generous.
And Horizon as well.
Horizon, Victoria Foundation.
Great organization.
Yes, and we get a lot of grants. We have a very active grant writing program.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to show a piece of a documentary. When you were out in St. Louis, the events of Ferguson rocked this country.
Yes.
Right after the horrific events surrounding Michael Brown, otherwise known as his murder.
Yes.
You're involved in a documentary called Documenting Ferguson.
Correct.
About to show a clip from it, and I'm curious as to how this potentially translates to your work here.
Sure.
This is Documenting Ferguson. Talk to us.
At the time, I felt the project was really important for a couple of reasons, both personal and professional. My husband and I lived in St. Louis at the time, and we were actually really close to one of the neighborhoods where one of the shootings occurred, not Michael Brown's, but another. And I remember quite vividly.
Simply too many, but go ahead.
Simply too many. I remember quite vividly living through protests with helicopters flying above our homes, and you could hear the protesters not far from where we lived. So there was a personal component, but there's also a professional component as well. I believe firmly that libraries have a role to play in not only documenting the past, which is what we've done forever, but also in documenting the present. And I thought it was really important for us to be there and be on the ground documenting what was happening so that we could help communicate about what was happening and we could hopefully help future researchers better understand.
And in Newark, the potential exists to do something similar, hopefully not connected to such a horrific event.
Correct.
But to document.
Correct, correct. And we are doing that. We have a grant from Carnegie Corporation. In that case, what we're doing is documenting the past, both the Great Migration and also Latino immigration in Newark. But I think we also have a role to play in thinking about how people interact with each other today and the impact that policy change is having on our communities. I'm very concerned as a librarian about what I see in contemporary politics, and I think daily about the role that the library can play in helping people navigate that.
Could you see yourself as a convener of people to have meaningful conversations about how we see the world in similar and very different ways?
Absolutely. The library has become a center where people come together. It's a community center. It's a place where people can work together and have these types of conversations. We have them now on a regular basis. We host not only our own programs, but we also host programs for different community groups. As a result, in the past year, our attendance at these programs has gone up about 140%.
This is demand.
This is demand.
And you're meeting the demand.
Yes.
And creating opportunities.
Absolutely.
Jeffrey, I want to thank you.
Sure.
In the spirit, again, this is a name that means a lot to a lot of people watching, but in the spirit of people like Charles Cummings, who did so much for so many at a different time in the 70s, if you will, when some of us were growing up in Newark, he would have been proud of the work that you and your colleagues are doing.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a good place to be.
It's a great place to be. Jeffrey Trzeciak, who is the director of the Newark Public Library. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome anytime. We'll be right back right after this.
To watch more Caucus, New Jersey, find us online and follow us on social media.
We are pleased to welcome once again our good friend Christy Tighe, who is Director of College and Career Readiness at Junior Achievement of New Jersey, and you're here with a friend.
I am.
She is Camille Holloman, who is Junior Achievement Alumnus. Good to see both of you.
Nice to meet you too.
We'll talk about Junior Achievement in just a second. Why is this young lady here?
She's here because we work with students all over the state at Junior Achievement, and she is one of our shining stars, one of our greatest examples of what we can help students become and what our state is made out of. I mean, we have such great students here in New Jersey, and she is the best of the best.
And Junior Achievement, the brief description is?
Sure. Well, we're actually a global organization celebrating our 100th year, And here in New Jersey, we inspire and prepare students across the state to be successful after graduation. And we provide experiences and training and mentorship for our young people, K to 12, that help them be better in careers, be better in life, be better in college, really just to get them prepared for the 21st century.
You know, what did Junior Achievement do for you?
Junior Achievement has opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I began affiliating myself with Junior Achievement since I was a sophomore in high school. Well,
What even drew
in-
you to them? What drew you to Junior Achievement? How did you get involved?
Well, I got involved through a program at my school, JROTC, Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, and I loved it a lot. So one main thing we got to do with Junior Achievement was High School Heroes. And as a
High school heroes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And as a high school hero, you go to different schools, you teach elementary school children about financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship.
You did that.
Yes.
Describe what that was like for you.
Well, my very first experience, I thought I was just going to be an assistant to a student leader. Well, it was then decided I was going to teach a class, my first experience. I was pretty nervous because, you know, I didn't know what to expect. It's a different learning environment. It's been so long since I've been in elementary school, so I don't know how the children would react to me.
What was it like?
My first experience, it was pretty fun. I got to work with, I believe it was first grade. They had a lot of fun. They were very energetic. And when I finished through all 5 of my sessions, they didn't want me to leave.
How'd that feel?
I felt like I made an impact on those children.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Is that the idea of Junior Achievement?
It's totally the idea of Junior Achievement. When Camille goes into a Camden Elementary School classroom, she's not only teaching kids 21st century skills, but she's being a role model to them. So a kid can see, a child can see, you know, what their potential is, that they can be like her one day. And that's really what we do. For the past 100 years, Junior Achievement continues to stay on top of education issues, business issues. We fill that gap between K-12 and business. And we prepare young people to be successful no matter what that looks like. Right now, that's all about soft skills, employability skills, 21st century skills.
Break those skills down. What are we talking about?
It's really interesting because, you know, when I went to high school, we learned content, and content stayed the same, and that's what you need to know to go on.
Today?
Today. And now, if you look, Google just did a survey of their successful employees and found that the top 7 traits of success at Google are all soft skills. Being able to coordinate with others, being a problem solver.
Interpersonal communications.
Interpersonal
What we're
communications.
doing right now.
Yeah, what we're doing now. And when Camille and her colleagues at Camden High School, or the students in Newark that we work with, or all over the state, when they get that opportunity to build their soft skills in front of an elementary school classroom. Camille and a lot of our students are shy when they first start. But when they have the opportunity to try something like that and get out of their shell and meet new people that help build those skills, it's so important. Because what we've been hearing from the business community is that a lot of entry-level employees are lacking in those skills. And it's really to the detriment of our economy, our businesses, and our young students and employees themselves.
Now, let me ask you this. You grew up where?
I grew up in Camden.
In Camden. Describe your neighborhood.
I would say the neighborhood is not really the most ideal place you would want a child to grow up in, but I learned to overcome that. You know, I recently graduated from Camden High School, being in the top 10 of my class.
You were top 10.
Yes.
What is your sense of wanting to make a difference? By the way, you have plans to serve our nation?
Yes.
Where?
United States Navy.
United States Navy. Where did your sense of service and making a difference come from, even before you met the folks at Junior Achievement?
It actually came from home. 4th grade, I had my mom, she gave birth to a little girl, and from then on, I wanted to do as much as I can to not just help her, but the rest of my siblings at home.
You a born leader?
I don't think I was born a leader. I was made a leader.
Your reaction?
She's right. She's amazing. And that's what's really great about Camille and about the opportunities that we have at Junior Achievement. Camille was a participant in our Women's Future Leadership Forum for a couple of years.
Women's Future Leadership Program.
We have a Women's Future Leadership Forum at Junior Achievement, held regionally. So Camille and her fellow students came down and participated in the one we had in South Jersey. And what we do at our forums is we connect young women like Camille with business leaders in the region. And a lot of times, like Camille, she's humble, right? That's why she's such a great leader.
Clearly.
She's also humble. She wants to be an engineer, right?
Is that the game plan?
And there's not a lot of a lot of mentors, a lot of female mentors in engineering.
Right.
So our Women's Future Leadership Forums and all the programs that we do at Junior Achievement, we connect students with mentors that kind of teach them, show them the way, kind of lead by example, and be role models to them so that they can achieve what they want.
The message you want to deliver to any other young person who happens to be watching right now saying, I have dreams, but I don't know if I could pull those things off. What do you say to them?
Well, from my own experience, I would say you can do them. You have to put in the hard work, and you also have to learn to make those connections with people.
Someone says, I grew up in a tough neighborhood, or I'm in a tough neighborhood, things are rough. It's challenging, you say?
It's challenging, but like I said, with the hard work, you can make it through. And there are open resources to you, for those who are willing to help you.
Like Junior Achievement?
Yes, like Junior Achievement.
Camille, thank you. And we wish you nothing but success and a good, productive life. We know you're going to make a difference. And thank you for the service you're going to be providing to our country.
Thank you.
And
you're
always,
welcome.
thank you, Christy. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
To watch more Caucus New Jersey, find us online and follow us on social media.
Okay, that's right. You could sing. We are pleased to be joined by Cheldin Barlatt Rumer, who not only sings, but she's also very talented. She's the host and executive producer of something called This Is It TV, which is...
This Is It is a digital series that broadcasts live each and every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, in order to provide a place for people to scream their dream.
Whoa, Scream the Dream. By the way,
Scream
we're
the
putting up
Dream.
information so people can check you out.
Yeah.
Where'd this whole idea come from?
Well, I had a digital agency, so social media, web design, graphic design for years, well, since 2009. And everybody that would come into my office, primarily small business owners, primarily women, would come in and they would say, I have this idea. I want to do this. Meanwhile, they have remortgaged their house. They haven't talked to their husband about it. They've decided that this is what they're doing with their life. But what they were doing was they were whispering their wishes. I am enthusiastic about everything. So
Clearly.
I like to scream. So no longer are we whispering our wishes. We are screaming our dreams. And so that was where the philosophy was. So I was going to create a digital platform where people had a voice, where they could scream their dream about whatever it is that they wanted to do, whether it was open a jewelry business, start a bakery, what have you.
Do you feature these folks?
I feature them every morning, every morning.
How do you do every
morning.
Where do you find these people?
They find me, which is wonderful. More often than not, the majority of people want to find a place to put whatever it is that they're dreaming, and a safe place where they can feel comfortable. I like to believe that I make people feel comfortable. So.
You're from South Jersey?
I am from South Jersey.
What town?
I grew up in Galloway Township, all the way down by the shore points, and then now I live in Washington Township.
And are these folks from all around South Jersey?
So South Jersey, all the way up to North Jersey. I find myself in New York at least twice a month, Philadelphia area, Delaware. Yeah, entrepreneurs. And then we Skype with a number of people from across the country.
So it's Facebook Live?
So it's Facebook Live.
Talk about that, because I'm always fascinated by different platforms.
Yeah.
We happen to have digital platforms, but we're also on public television,
Yeah.
we're on Fios, on radio, and other places.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a different audience that you have digitally?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Facebook Live?
And when we first began, we started on YouTube, right? And we started on YouTube. I have a young production manager, and we were kind of struggling on YouTube, to be able to find viewers, and why isn't anybody watching? And we want to be able to increase the amount of people that are seeing it. My production manager comes to me and says, why don't we just do Facebook Live? All of the women, and primarily the people that follow, fan, and like us, are women between the ages of 30 and 55. And they are living on Facebook. So as opposed
What do you mean they're living on Facebook?
They're living on it. Stop.
What do you mean living on Facebook?
They're living on it for whatever, for recreation, for references, where to shop.
find out where their high school boyfriend or girlfriend was doing?
To be able to see the pictures of the bat mitzvah that they missed. They are living on Facebook, for whether it be personally or professionally. So as opposed to me trying to make my audience go to YouTube, I went to my audience.
I love this.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
You know, it's so interesting. My wife Jennifer started the business about a year and a half ago. She was in real estate.
Yeah.
And she got into staging homes, and she has a great business.
that.
And
I love that.
I realized that she posts on Facebook a lot of
Yeah.
this is what it looked like,
Yeah,
this is what it looks
before
like
and
now.
after.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about. It's about telling and not selling. It's about sharing what's going on. It's about saying, this is what in fact I do. Because the majority of entrepreneurs, their best friends don't even know what they do. They have spent so much time building this business, whatever they've dreamt up in their
Right.
mind, they haven't shared it, they haven't screened it. So for us, we give them an opportunity to just tell people what they are doing and let them do with whatever they want with that
Do
information.
you give them advice as well?
Absolutely.
On the
absolutely.
on the show.
On the show. On the show. Because it works out well. I mean, again, you don't know what you don't know, right? I always like to say I sell the cookies. If you're a bakery, right? If you're a bakery, you really know how to make cookies. All day you're making cookies. You're coming
Right.
up with recipes. You're figuring it out. You haven't sold one cookie. You don't know how to sell cookies.
But you know how to make
You know how to
cookies.
make cookies. So there's a void that you're filling, but how do you communicate that void to everybody else? Well, you go on This Is It TV, and we help you share that.
Where's your passion come from?
Where's my,
Seriously, like, where does that come from?
It comes from my family. It does. It comes
Describe
from my
it.
family. So I'm one of 4. The majority of them are academics, engineers.
Why you wrong? Whoa. We just had 4 university presidents in here
Right.
talking about the future of higher education.
Right.
You just rolled your eyes about academics.
Because here's the situation. I was a student athlete, Division I athlete. I ran track, good genes. I ran track and played field hockey for LaSalle University in Philly.
Impressive.
And which was great, right? I'm not shy by
Clearly.
any stretch of the imagination. My other siblings were more book focused.
And
Let's
you
just put
were?
it that way. I was just more of an extrovert.
Were you social?
I was very social.
And athletic?
And athletic.
You were not a scholar athlete?
I was an athlete. I was an athlete.
Who
That
went to
got us-
school?
That went to school. Let's put it that way. No, and it was just
Did
not what I
athletics
was passionate
connect
about.
you to people on a social level?
Yeah, absolutely. And the ability to work as a team. So from a business standpoint, it's ideal. You know, I was the captain of the team and the leader of the team in that way. So I got people to work with me, but at the same time, I knew what my place
Yeah,
was.
you just triggered something.
Yeah.
We do a radio show that people can check out.
Yeah.
It's called the Leadership Hour on a New York-based radio station, and there's a podcast. So I ask
that.
leaders of all sorts,
Yeah.
shapes and sizes,
Yeah.
genders.
Yes.
Greatest leadership lesson you've learned so far is?
Patience.
Oh, you?
I know. It's difficult. I have to do it every single day. Patience. If I want to build something that feeds my children's children, how can that happen in 6 months? How can it happen in a year? I have to have patience.
But how do you manage the patience with your passion?
Because the passion leads to the patient. Listen, every day you have to work towards it. Every single day. And so if it's not, it won't happen overnight just based on the want. I mean, I would love if
The
it's something.
desire will not get it done.
It won't get it done. It's aspiration plus action equals abundance, is what I like to say.
Women
Yes.
in business.
Yes. Yes. Lean in.
What am I, Sheryl Sandberg right now? Here's what I'm curious about.
Women in business.
One of the things I do a fair
Yeah.
amount of coaching and
Yeah.
training outside of my broadcasting with a lot of
Yeah.
women who
Love it.
often say this.
Yeah.
I love what I do, but I don't like to, quote unquote, brag about what I do. And I said, what do you mean brag? You're not bragging about what you do. You're talking about the difference you make. But the point I'm trying to make is there some, I like to brag.
Yeah.
Can you tell? Nah,
Yeah, no,
seriously.
no.
I'm not shy about quote
Right.
unquote self-promotion.
Right.
Do you think there's anything gender related about this?
I do believe so.
What is
I believe that it's a giving mentality. I want to give to everyone else and I am last. It's just the nature of the scenario. I call it the big piece of chicken. Women tend to make the other partner a bigger piece of chicken. If I make 6 cutlets,
Yeah.
I'm giving my husband the larger piece of chicken. I'll take the scrawny little piece of chicken. I'll make his plate, it'll look all lovely with the big piece of chicken. We always give everyone a bigger piece. We tend to sit back and just take whatever is left.
What about you?
Right, exactly. So that's the nature of the beast. Not to say that that's the way it always is, but that's the nature of the beast. Moving forward, a lot of them, what I'm teaching a lot of them to do is to finally be comfortable saying who they are. Because if they don't share, if they're not willing to tell people who they are, other people will determine who they are.
And that's not bragging.
And that's not bragging.
That's sharing.
That's just sharing. And that's what your wife does as far as the before and the after. The work speaks for itself.
I often say, why you did 10 houses? Why do you only have 1 up? Oh, who wants to know?
Everybody
People
wants
need to know.
Everybody wants to know. Repetition is key. And people get nervous about that. It's too much of me. It's too much of me.
I've never said that.
Okay.
Leave it alone.
Well, right. But Google thinks it's too much of me. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, no. The
How
best
could there be
brands,
too much of you?
The best
if
brands
If
are
you don't
too
bring
much.
value, then there is too much of you. But
Sure.
when you bring value,
That's the next step. Knowing who it is you are, knowing what it is you want and then why you deserve it.
You know, we could do great things together.
I hope so.
You feel the chemistry?
I do.
You feel the on-air?
I do.
Like we got something going.
I think so.
Would you have me on your show? I
What?
had you on our show.
Aren't you coming next week? Gina, where's Gina?
Hold on.
Yes.
I have
let's
to go
figure
all
it
the
out.
way down there?
See what I mean?
See what I mean?
See what I mean? I paid a toll over the river and through the woods to come see you.
Listen, we'll work it out.
Okay,
Listen,
we
you
have
are terrific.
to.
Plug
Oh,
one more
thank you.
time.
This Is It TV. Follow, fan, and like us at This Is It TV.
Facebook Live.
Yes, Facebook Live, 10 a.m. Eastern every morning, Monday through Friday.
You brought
Your
it.
daily dose
I
of
wanna
lifestyle
thank you for bringing
news.
it.
Thank you so
You brought
much.
it. Thank
So
you so
nice
much.
to meet
Appreciate
you.
it. Same
Oh,
here.
so fun.
Check you out next time. That was good.
Yay, so fun.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of Caucus, New Jersey has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, NJM Insurance Group, ADP, Hackensack Meridian Health, the North Ward Center, Wells Fargo, and by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus, New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.
How do you create change? By cultivating hope. And we see that every day. In the eyes of our preschoolers, in the souls of the seniors in our Adult Day program, in the minds of the students at Robert Treat Academy, a national Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, in the passion of children in our Youth Leadership Development Program, in our commitment to connections at the Center for Autism, and in the heart of our community, the North Ward Center, creating opportunities for equity, education, and growth.